hopefully everyone can see me. Hopefully everyone is excited for today. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is VooDoo Val, and I am going to be your host this afternoon for another epic design segment here on Adobe Live for holiday week. I am super excited for it. I've been having a blast watching all of the wonderful things everyone has been making and seeing all the different projects and things that we have to kind of choose from here on Adobe Live this week. The great thing about Adobe Holiday Week is that all of the streams, just in case you folks don't know, all of the streams have something for you. There are gifts happening in every stream, things that you folks can download and work along with the chat, friends in the chat, and also with our wonderful hosts and guests to create things that you folks can use for this holiday season. So I'm going to pop over here and just kind of look at the schedule a little bit for those of you who maybe don't know what's coming up next, or maybe you are brand new to Adobe Live. Welcome in. So yesterday we did creating your own wrapping paper, DIY ornaments, holiday cards, stickers and more, New Year self-portraits, all that good stuff. Today we have done winter theme composites, design and print, decorations, and then right now we are going to do building your own snowman, which I'm super pumped for. And then right after me, Isabel's going to be here for some end of the year postcards. And then as you can see on the 14th and 15th, tomorrow and day after, there are a bunch of amazing things coming up, and all of those things have a link in the description of the live stream or the replay, just like there is today, so that you can click and download the files that each guest is working with. So down below in the description, there is a link for all of you folks, which will take you to a nifty page where you can download what I'm working with today, and it looks a little something like this. I'm going to pop over to my stream here and show you what we're working with, because today is the Build a Snowman workshop. So this is the working file we've got, and basically what it is you can see I've kind of created a little snowman here with some of the assets, but we've got a bunch of really cool silhouettes here in our folders on the side, and what we're going to do is kind of plug and play all of these little assets and silhouettes to create a character, and then we're going to paint them in. And you can use this snowman for so many different things. You can use this on holiday cards, you can make stickers with this, you could use this to decorate gift tags, you could make ornaments with it, whatever it is that you think you might need a snowman for this holiday season, you can use this Build a Snowman workshop file to create it. Yeah, the snowman's really chill. Ha 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 ha. You see what I did there? He's very chill. Sup? What's going on, Adobe Live? So we're going to dive into it, and I actually have, aside from this snowman that I've created, I actually have another kind of example for you, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in a new file, and this is something that you folks can do, or you can work in this file that I have given you here, but what I want to do is not have so many different folders and things as I'm working, so I've created myself another square-shaped folder or file here that I'm just going to drag the silhouettes that I'd like to use for my piece over into. And in this file, I actually have a cool example of something that I also did with our assets, and that is this little snowman guy. Isn't he cute? So we're gonna do something like this today. And like I said, you could use this for anything you want, but the first kind of thing that I'm going to go for is creating like a social media post, because I'm sure rather you are celebrating the holidays this season, if you're someone who celebrates, or whatever, I think that a lot of us probably like to post a holiday themed something or other on social media, just to have something festive for the season, and like kind of going with our branding and things. Even if you're not celebrating. So I felt like this is a good start, something that a lot of people would want to use. So we're going to paint something like this today. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and hide that. We're going to come back over to our main file, and I'm going to start snagging some pieces. So you can see, I'm going to kind of crank this up. and we can kind of look through what we've got here. Also, Cody in the chat is saying, post your work online with hashtag Adobelive Holiday Week 2022. Yes, please. If you create a snowman with me today, I will retweet your art and I will add your paintings to my stories on Instagram. I really hope that you will create with me and post it to social media with the hashtag so I can find it. I would be thrilled. All right, so I have the title. I'm just gonna hide that. I'm also gonna hide our snowman, and we're just gonna take a peek at our silhouettes here. So we have like a couple little bodies here. We've got some nose shapes, some like carrot shapes for noses. We've got several hats, a little pair of mittens, and then we've got a scarf and a little bow tie. And I think I definitely want to use a scarf. So what I'm going to do is, you could come in, just quick tip for all of you folks using Photoshop today, you could come in and navigate and go to the scarf. All of the things are actually named. All my layers are very organized, but you can also just hold control and click whichever little piece you want, and then you can grab this layer if you're going to be working in another file, and you can drag it over to the title of your new file without releasing your click, and then release into your new area. So we've got our little scarf silhouette here, which I love. We can use a snowman body, but feel free, if you want something more than what is available here, silhouette wise, or the silhouettes inspire you to create something other than what is here, do your own. Okay, these are suggestions, things you can use, but you don't have to make yours look exactly like mine. Also, I see Mech D, my friend. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. How are you today? Welcome, welcome. J Minx is here. Hello, darling. It's good to see you. Yes, I've got glasses now. Val organizes her layers now. I'm so proud. Yes, indeed. It's good to see you, JJ. Also, let me just kind of peek at the chat and give everyone a little hello. Anonymous user, welcome in. George, happy Tuesday to you as well, friend. Stacy, welcome in. Good to see you. Mahmoud, Mahmoud, sorry. Mohammed, welcome in. Jack, good to see you. Vladka, Rick, it is good to see all of you folks. Becca, hello, Bex. It's good to see you. And Wade, and Ashley, and Cody, of course. All right, so I am going to snag our little small, chunky snowman shape here, because I know that the standard snowman is like the 3 snowballs here, but I really do like the small, chunky guy, so I'm just gonna snag that and drag it over here and throw him in there. And then I definitely want to use a nose. So I think I used the tiny one. And this is one, I really wanted to use this nose in the sample so that people could see how I visualize the silhouettes, right? Because I used that tiny one, and you can see it's not really a tiny nose, it's just a long carrot nose kind of in perspective. And we're gonna get into not just how to build the snowmen, but how to imagine and visualize a lot of these pieces of silhouettes and parts of the snowman, to visualize it within a 3D space so you can really create a very impactful piece. So I'm gonna actually use one of our longer noses here. So let's go ahead and drag our nose right over here. So we've got a nose, we've got a scarf, we've got a little body, and I feel like I wanna bring the mittens in as well. So I'm gonna hold Control and click that right mitten, and then I'm gonna hold Shift and select the left mitten as well, so that I can select both of them. And then you can see they're highlighted in my layers, and I can drag them over and throw them in there. So we've got a body, we've got a nose, a scarf, we've got mittens, and then he definitely is gonna need a little hat. So I used a big top hat. I actually used this top hat here for our sample guy, and then I threw him over here too, just so we could peek at him in this file as well. I actually extended the edge of it just to make it chunkier. So even I, in my own file, have deviated just slightly from the original silhouettes. And I encourage all of you to do that wherever you think it's necessary. I think I'm going to actually snag this guy right here. I think this would be cool. So let's go ahead and snag this top hat one, and I'm going to drag that in there. So now we've got all of our moving parts. And as we start to put these together, it can start to get a little confusing as far as putting them together, because it's all black silhouette. So what I want to do actually is I'm going to bring our sample up top there, and I'm going to click my topmost layer in here and hold shift and click the bottommost layer, and I'm going to turn the opacity of our layers down to like 50 something percent, because now we can see the outlines of everything. So if I come in, I'm going to grab my move tool, which is just up at the top here. I can come in and just start arranging these. So let's bring this guy down. We're actually going to Control T to free transform that, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, just so we can see our whole character, just like that. And then let's grab our top hat, and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller, like so. We might turn this catty corner like that. We'll throw that right there, kind of overlap. I think we should grab our mitten and our other mitten, and I'm thinking I'm going to select both the mittens at once and Control or Command T to free transform so they stay kind of the same size. So then I can redo these just like so, and we will start to arrange these. So let's take our mitten. I'm going to actually flip horizontal, and I think I need to flip them horizontal to make them, you can do it like that, yeah, okay. Do I want to? No, we don't need to flip both of them horizontal. One thing with all of these is that we're gonna have to make sure that we're orienting them properly, and I think if I just turn it like that, yeah, then the thumb is on top. So if I was standing like him, my thumb is on top over here and my thumb is on top there, because we'll have both the thumbs facing forward, and that will be nicely in perspective. We're gonna hide this mitten behind him, and then we're gonna take our mitten here, and we're going to put that like kind of on his side, like so. I think that will work nicely. I'll make this one slightly bigger since it's forward. Boom. And then we're going to place our scarf and our nose. So let's grab our scarf. We will free transform. Also, I'm resizing from center, so I'm just holding the Shift and Alt. And I'm going to see, I might actually pull this out this way. Maybe we won't keep it totally to its aspect ratio. That's not so bad. It kind of, the edge of the scarf is definitely going to go behind the mitten a little bit, but if we turn it, maybe we can turn this, and we might even, honestly, we might even alter the shape a little bit, or maybe we can just push this up here. I wonder if instead of putting it down, if we rotate it so that it goes up around his head a little more, than the original silhouette would suggest, because that could be cool. Like if we did something like this, we could extend our silhouette just a tiny bit, and it could be a smaller scarf. So if I wanted to do something like this, and then we'll alter the silhouette. So let's go ahead and leave it like that. So it's like going to be up on his neck, around his chin. That always inspired me to be artsy. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. This is making me want to go back to freelancing Twitch streaming overlays for people. You should totally do it, Jay. Poor Snowman looks like he was impaled with the carrot. I know, we have to move it. We have to move it and make it look a little more natural, or as natural as a sentient snow person can look. Let's go ahead and snag his nose, and let's make his nose a little bit smaller. Maybe we will turn it like so. I almost wonder, maybe we do need the little nose. Maybe the little nose is necessary here. Let's go ahead and let's hide this nose, and let's grab our little nose. Let's grab the little nose. We might be doing another little nose. Yeah, we might need a little nose. Yeah, if we turn it just slightly, because here it's like you're looking at it straight on, but if I turn it to the side, then it's like you're looking at it pretty close to the front, but just slightly turned. And I think that's pretty cute. So we could do like so. So now we have like a character. laid out. And the next course of action is to start changing these colors and altering it to suit our needs. We're going to kind of add some color in. I'm going to go ahead and delete that nose I know we're not using, and I'm going to make sure that these layers are layered properly. So we want our snowman body to be on the bottom. Our scarf above that is fine. I'm going to bring the nose up underneath the top hat, and the mittens will stay just like that. I think that will work. Ooh, actually, this left mitten should be behind our snowman body. So now we'll select all of these and we'll make sure the opacity is turned up 100%, and I'm going to come in with just a paint bucket tool and I'm going to start paint bucketing things in. There's a lot of ways that you can change the color of shapes. We could double click, honestly, and open up the layer styles panel. And we could do a color overlay if we wanted. The thing about this, though, is that I really like to get in and subtract from my shape and paint and things, and this is a layer style. It doesn't actually make our hat red. It just appears that way because the style is applied, and I would prefer to make the actual hat red. However, if you would like to do things with the layer styles, that's fine. All I did was double click my layer here, as long as I'm not double clicking on the text itself, and it will open the layer style for you. But I'm just going to use my paint bucket, and we need to choose some colors. So what colors would you folks like to use? I'm going to leave this up to you. I'll select a few and grab some for us, but if you folks want to put some ideas for colors, maybe let me know what colors you are using for your snowmen. Feel free. I'm going to go ahead. I think obviously we need kind of an orange color for his nose. I think that would be good. So I'm just going to come over to the nose. Let's hide this real quick just so I can see. And I am going to make a layer with Control Shift in or Command Shift in. And I'm going to make this a clipping mask. Boom, to clip that to the nose. And then we'll paint bucket. Boom. And our paint bucket has transformed our nose orange. So quick tip just for anybody who has never used clipping masks before. My clipping mask here, while it is like a whole layer that is paint bucketed this orange color, it's clipped to the nose, which means anything I put on a clipping mask that's pointing at this nose layer, it's only going to show up within the confines of whatever layer it is clipped to or pointing at there. So it's only going to show up in the shape of my nose. We need a purple carrot, to be honest. Do they exist? Have you ever heard of the cosmic carrot? I have actually grown purple carrots in my yard, so we're going to scratch that. Yes, 100%. We do need a purple carrot. I think you're absolutely right, Cody. Thank you so much. So we have a purple carrot. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab both of these layers, and I'm going to Control G to group, and we're going to call this nose, because then as I start to paint this, we can come back and we can like open and know that all the layers and all the textures and things we do for our nose are nice and neat in there. We are going to go into the body. Let's go ahead and go to the body. Control or Command Shift in to make a new layer and clip, and I am going to select maybe like a super light blue color for our snowman body, and if anyone would like to suggest a different color, that's totally fine. So we're just gonna paint bucket in a nice blue. I think that'll work for us. Let me see. I see a lot of people saying blue, so we got blue in there for sure. I am going to select, maybe if our carrot nose is purple, we can have some like crimson, like tomatoey colors mixed into that purple, because the purple carrots, they have like a kind of a rust red tone to them in with that purple, so we can add some reds as well, and then we'll make the top hat band like a purpley red too. So I think that would be cool when we start detailing the top hat. So let's go ahead and group that, and we'll call this body. Let's go to the top hat, Control or Command Shift in to make a new layer and clip, And then I'm going to select, I kind of want a purple color that has a little bit of desaturation to it. So let's select our purple here and let's do like a desaturated purple. So you can see where I was selected in my colors here. I'm just going to go over towards the desaturated side and a little bit downward and get us a nice like desaturated purple. Looking good. And I think that might be like maybe a base color since you guys liked purple. And we can start mixing in other designs that add a splash of more color to it. So let's go ahead. I'm also going to drop in a purple color to the mittens. And I'm just gonna clip that and we'll duplicate that, bring that here and clip that to the other mitten. And I will Control G, we'll call this mittens. And did I not get that other mitten? What did I do? Oh, that's the scarf. We can leave the scarf purple too, though, for now, till we kind of figure it out. Okay. Boom, so the scarf's got color, and let's also duplicate that. I'm just hitting Control J to duplicate, and we will clip that. This is the left mitten, and I'll make sure to denote this one as, that says mitten. I know how to spell mitten, folks. I know how to spell it. Let's call this right mitten. All right. So now we've got some basic colors in here. I think that we should probably choose a nice background color, which I'm just gonna try to snag like maybe an even brighter blue would work. So if I want to go ahead and select that blue, I just held Alt to select that color, and we'll do like a brighter blue in the background just so that it's not white. And then now we're going to start to make this look cooler, because right now it's just flat shapes and we need to paint this in, right? Top of the muffin to you. What's up, General Kenobi? Hello there. It's good to see you. Galaxy blue scarf. We will add blue to the scarf just for you, Jay. All right, so we've got our shapes in. We've got some sort of colors happening, although I feel like it could be a little less boring than this. And the next thing we need to do is we need to choose a brush. I have a brush chosen that I really want to use for this particular project. It is one of Kyle T. Webster's brushes, and it is like a burlap sack texture. And I will kind of show that off real quick. It's Kyle's Halftone Burlap. It's in his Halftone brush pack, which I believe you can find if you go to get more brushes. You will be able to find all of Kyle Webster's brushes, and in the Halftones pack you will find the Kyle's Halftone Burlap. And it looks like this. I'm going to make sure that caps lock is not on. Let's grab our purple, and I'm just gonna kind of see how nice that is. It's just like a cool texture that has a lot of nice grit to it. And if I don't press very hard, I get this really subtle kind of texture. And if I press harder, it gets darker and more defined. And if I press really hard, it's almost like a hard round brush with gritty at the edges. So I think it's a very nice brush for this particular project. And I recommend it if you would like to use the same brush as me. So let's alter some things. I think we did want to change our scarf. I am going to rasterize my layers here. And you don't have to rasterize your smart objects if you don't want to. I'm going to go ahead and do it. If you would like to add or subtract to these shapes, however, and you don't want to rasterize your layers, rasterize the shapes, you could use a mask. So if you hit the mask button down here underneath our layers, you could mask and you could draw with black or white to add and subtract from your shapes however you like. But I am going to just rasterize so I can add and subtract at will with my brush and eraser. So we want this to kind of, I'm going to just use my burlap brush to just add a little more here to the edges. Also, for those of you who might be working alongside me today, who are not illustrators as far as like using a brush and a tablet, that is totally fine. What you could do is you could actually add and subtract with the lasso tool. If you want to use the lasso tool with your mouse. So if I wanted to add another little bump here, what I could do is just kind of draw out a lasso tool. If you have trouble drawing with the lasso tool with your mouse, I highly recommend using the curvature pen tool. Very like the pen tool, but since we're doing some shapes and stuff here that have nice smooth curves, if you go to the pen tool, right click it and then go to curvature pen tool, you can actually come in here and make some beautiful curves. And I'm just tapping, but it's making curves for me. So if you want to go through and add to your shapes and create stuff with the curvature pen tool, because you're not using a stylus, feel free to do that. Just want to make sure everybody has just a really nice method of adding to our piece today, no matter what tools you are working with. So I am, like I said, I'm using a stylus, and I'm just adding a little bit more to our scarf here because I think it needs a little more something something. Just gonna kind of bring that around so it works a little bit better with our body here. And I like that. I also like that it has grit around the edges. That's, you know, that's good for me. And I think I'll actually leave it like that. So we've got our scarf. Maybe we actually should subtract here just so that it looks like it goes around his head, you know? I think that looks cool. So it looks like it's snug around the bottom of his head, like so. And then we could also, if we wanted to, we could bring, oops, make sure I'm using my brush, and I will increase the size of my brush. We could also make it a little thicker so it goes down a little farther. I think that is cool. So now he's got his scarf, and I would like to add a little more. So I'm going to make another layer and clip it. Also going to check on how we're doing for time. Oh, we're doing great on time. We still have another half hour to hang out and paint this guy up. So somebody said they wanted blue in the scarf. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to create a clipping mask that adds a little bit of depth to our scarf, and then we're going to add some blue designs to it. Now, as I mentioned before, we're going to have to fill in these silhouettes in a manner that kind of brings it from being a flat shape into a 3D space, and sometimes that can be really hard to kind of visualize and envision, especially if you're not used to working with 3D like kind of non-flat illustration, or if you're not familiar with working with silhouettes. So this is how I do it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to place some shadows, okay? And the way we're going to think about it is I'm just going to, I'll kind of stretch my color palette here. We're going to take a slightly desaturated but darker shade than our medium purple here that we're working with. And I'm going to think to myself, what parts of this scarf are in the background or not the frontmost or topmost element of it? Well, this little portion of the scarf right here, I'm going to envision that this is one piece that goes over the top, and this tail end of our scarf is in the background underneath the other fabric folds. So I'm going to make this a little darker, and I'm just going to kind of bring that around like so, and color it in, just like that, okay? So now that's in the back. And then I will, using the left and right bracket keys, I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller, and I'm gonna put a line here as well. And maybe I will subtract just from this a little bit, just to make that real smooth. And then I'm gonna put a line here as well, just to separate that from the rest of it. So you can see now we've got this tail of our scarf kind of underneath. We've got these lines separating the frontmost portion of the fabric from the wrap. And then what we can do as well is make our brush kind of big, and we can come in and maybe add a little more. I'm not pressing very hard, just to get some of that texture in there and adding a little more definition to the edge. We can kind of bring a long swipe here, maybe add a little more shadow underneath here to kind of get this going. Now again, if you're not using a brush today, and you're thinking, well, this looks cool for you, Val, but how do I do that with the curvature pen tool or with the lasso tool? What I would say is come in and do something like this. If I hide this real quick, we can create a new clipping mask. Let's grab our lasso tool, and let's come in and make a shape, right? And then paint bucket that in. And then boom, we've got our little piece there that's supposed to go behind. We can come in, oops, not with my paint bucket tool, with my lasso and kind of grab a little section of that, and we can start putting in our line. You know, you can come in here and do this with the lasso tool. And if you're doing it with the curvature pen tool as well, same thing, just create a shape and add that shape to the layers of clipping masks that you've got going on, and it will kind of give you the same effect. So lots of ways that you can do this today, folks. So we've got our 3D looking scarf. It's kind of popping out of the background there. I'm liking it. I'm going to add a little bit of texture here to the end of our scarf. Looking good. And then we're going to need some design, right? We're going to need some more pizzazz to this, because this needs to be cool. And I believe it was J Minx in the chat who suggested we add blue to the scarf, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if I know Jay, I think Jay needs something sparkly on the scarf, honestly. So we're gonna add one more layer just to add a little bit of color, like a brighter color here. Just, you know, just slightly brighter than our purple, just to give it a little bit of light, like so, and really make this kind of pop. And then it's time to hit it with some detail, and that detail is going to be pretty spectacular, I think. So I'm going to grab, yeah, that's looking good. There's our little scarf. I am going to, we could do this a lot of ways. We could add just another clipping mask, but we could also collapse that scarf group and add a clipping mask to the scarf group. So we could go like this. You come in, grab this blue here. We'll grab like a dark blue, okay? And I'm gonna draw some design. So let's go ahead and bring this around, kind of following. This is another way that you can really define the scarf, is if we bring, like, if this is like kind of got like a stripy kind of vibe to it, bringing these stripes around the edge of the scarf in a manner that suggests the 3D shape and 3D form of it will really work wonders to kind of make it pop even more. So we'll do some little stripes, okay? We'll do something like that. I think that looks good. We won't bother on the back one there because that's supposed to be like back in the back. Or maybe we could. Maybe we'll just add, you know, like one little stripe, like so. And then we are going to add some little, let's do like some little bursts. I feel like Jay, you would rock a really nice kind of snowflakey or like sparkly kind of vibe for your scarf. So we're gonna give it some sparkles, this kind of texture. I like it. I like it. Just kind of get that in there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna clipping mask this too. We're gonna throw a clipping mask over the top, or actually, since it's already a clipping mask, what we're gonna do is lock the transparency. And we are going to, I'm just kind of throwing this on here, trying to make it look 3D. We're gonna lock the transparency so we can paint some darker tones into our blue, because I like the blue. The blue looks great. You guys chose perfectly for that. So if we lock our transparency, which is this block right here, then we can paint still directly on this layer without it going out of the lines we've already placed. So let's grab like a dark blue, dark blue, and we'll throw some of that dark blue over here as we kind of fade into shadow, right? Boom. And maybe over here just a little bit, maybe down the middle here where our shadow is for our other portions, we could do that. But then we want to sample that light blue, and let's bring a pop of that blue color. Ooh! You guys are color masters. This looks really cool. I'm very pleased. I commend you, chat. And there is our scarf. I think I like it. Val just casually making a masterpiece. Meanwhile, it takes me 15 minutes to draw a quality stick figure. And you know what? That is just fine because I have not always been quick to design like this. It used to take me a really long time to do things, and that's okay. That's just fine. You take as long as you need. Let's see how we're doing on time. All right, we got about 20 minutes. So now that we have like the motif for our guy's outfit here set up, I'm gonna go through and add some more details to other portions of his outfit to make it match. And in the meantime, I would love for you folks to let me know what kind of snowman you are gonna be creating. I hope you're gonna be designing with me. We are using a hashtag for our streams this week for Adobe Live Holiday Week, and I have been posting a little bit with our hashtag, the hashtag Adobe Live Holiday Week 2022. And if you create some cool designs, some cute little snowmen and stuff, I really hope that you will share it with me on social media using that hashtag. And as I mentioned before, if you create a snowman, or a snow woman or a snow person, whatever you want to use these assets for, if you create it and post it to Twitter or Instagram, I will retweet your art and I will add your pieces to my Instagram stories. I really, really want to see what you folks create, so definitely share it with that hashtag so I can find it. Give me a tag just to make sure, and I will kind of peek at social media later. So there's a little bit of definition on our top hat, and definitely needs a little swipe. Let's go ahead and make another clipping mask. We need to grab our blue and do like a little hat band, right? I feel like this is absolutely necessary. Like so, we'll grab some of this dark blue, and I'm gonna lock the transparency so I can paint directly on that. We'll get a little bit of blue going, and then we'll grab our bright blue and do a nice little stripe. Boom, boom, there's his hat. His hat's locked in. Now we gotta do his mittens. Let's do his little mittens, shall we? Let's go to the right mitten right here. Let's open that up. And I like his mittens where they are, so I'm not going to change the position. So we're just going to come in here. Let's make a new clipping mask, and let's do, what do you think about reversing the colors? So we've got the hat and the scarf as like purple with blue accents, but maybe we can change it and let's do blue with purple accents, or maybe maybe the cuff is like blue fur. So we can change it up just a tiny bit. So let's go ahead. I'll make another layer in between there. I'll grab this dark purple. We'll make the hand part purple still. Put a little shadow, like so. Really get this going. There we go. Grab some of this lighter purple. And then we'll add some of the blue accents. I just want like a chunkier piece of blue, you know, just to really make it pop and bring it into the outfit a little bit more. We can also, let's go ahead and, I feel like we should break the borders of this a little bit and make it like fluffy. So we can also make another layer without and not using a clipping mask. We can just kind of make this, I'm just tapping and kind of going crazy just to do a little bit of fur, you know, make it a little fuzzy. And then we can do the same thing I'm just gonna tap with some of this light blue. Boom, so he's got like these nice, fuzzy, furry, like cuffs. And then on the clipping mask portion, we will put our little stripes. Oops, oops, oops. Also, save your work. Save, save. We'll do a little stripe there. And we'll do a little stripe there. And then we'll do a stripe here and here. And that will be locked for transparency. And then we'll paint some light into those little stripes. I love it. There's his mitten. Big snowflake on the purple part. That is a great idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Who's that? Vladka, you're a genius. Let's get this this snowflake motif in there for sure. Let's go ahead and do like a big snowflake right on the front of the mitten, just like that. That looks awesome. And let's lock the transparency and paint some bright blue. That looks good. That was a great idea. Yeah. Now it matches. Now it really matches his outfit. Okay. And then we'll do the other mitten real quick. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to peek at my my time. I probably have about 15 minutes left here. And I think we're really gonna finish this whole thing. So let's go ahead, let's grab our dark purple here, make a new clipping mask. And I'm going to, this is gonna be mostly dark, right? Because it's kind of behind our little guy here. Yep, yep, yep. And then we also want to make a clipping mask to add our blue, and we want to make it kind of fuzzy and crazy. We'll make our new layer that isn't a clipping mask so that we can kind of add some of this fuzziness. Grab some of our blue, and we will add some of our blue. Where is it? Oh, I'm still painting with the same color. That's what the problem was. We'll add just a tiny bit of that blue on the edge, really. I think just kind of on the edge, like so. We'll add a tiny bit of our light purple to the tip of the thumb there, maybe the tip of the fingers. And then we need to come in with our blue lines just to make this for certain part of our main outfit. Add our lines, we'll lock that transparency, grab our bright blue, and just add a tiny little bit of blue to it. So now we've got our mittens, we've got our hat, we've got our scarf, and we need to worry about this body, right? A buckle on the hat, says Tom. I think that's a great idea. What color should our buckle on the hat be? Should we incorporate silver or gold? I feel like silver would probably work really well. I'm going to open up the body here, make us a clipping mask, and I'm going to snag a much brighter color of like this blue, so bright it's almost like a white. And we're going to thicken this in the shape of our body, kind of where the face is, and then make sure that we kind of create a little bit of a shadow with it. So we're not going to fully cover it in this bright color. We want to like kind of fade it, so I'm just not pressing as hard as I get to the edges here to give it that nice texture that kind of disappears into the background. We could even come in with another one, kind of sample this color and grab an even darker bluish color and kind of throw that in to the edge. We can even kind of give it a harder line there, so that shadow is really working for us. Around our mitten, we could do it around the underneath of the scarf to give that some definition underneath this portion of the scarf, and maybe down around here, kind of add that dark color just to really pull it out from being a flat shape, which I think that really does quite nicely for us. This is cute. Make us a new layer We'll add a little bit more of this bright color. I'm almost wondering if we want, what if we make the nose blue? Like, I know that the purple would look neat, but I almost want to like add like just a bright blue nose. Even though, I mean, I guess we really don't have to be like super accurate with it because this is a sentient person made of snow. So it's not like people are going to be like, that's not immersive. Cody says silver, and I think a silver buckle for the hat is a great idea. So let's go ahead and throw a buckle on there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab, let's grab like a almost a lavender color, because this is the thing when it comes to like doing artwork like this, is we want silver, but we don't actually have to choose silver. We could just choose something that seems silver compared to the colors we're already using. So if I use like, that's literally like kind of a lavender color, but it looks like a buckle or like a silver for the buckle. So if we do like this, that looks good. And then if we clip to that, create clipping mask, and we can even grab, like this is obviously like a brighter pink color here, but we can throw, let's make that even brighter, like an even brighter pink. We can grab some of that pink like so, and then grab some more of this darker purpley color and come in and kind of carve out the edge of that buckle, which looks kind of neat. So we got a little buckle. We might make this slightly less pink. Let's make this like bright, not quite white, but with a pink tone. I think that looks pretty good. So now we've got a little buckle. It's cute. Eyes could be blue, blueberry eyes. That's a good idea. Yeah, the PSDC that I have mine saved as, that's a Creative Cloud document. So mine is saved in the cloud. We need, what are we doing with our time? Oh, we got just under 10 minutes. And I think that that is exactly enough time to throw in our face and get our arms in and our little buttons. So let's go ahead. We'll do like a dark purple nose, since we talked about doing the eyes blue, because I think that's a much better idea that you guys have to like add more blue in, and then we can keep our idea of like our purple nose from earlier. There we go. Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I might even make this even brighter. Let's get like a super bright little spot of light hitting the top of that nose right there. And then on a layer above, let's do eyes. So let's grab our dark blue eyes, our dark blue color for our eyes. I feel like we want to do like this and like this. And we'll give them a little, I'm just putting little dots. You could use your circle selection tool. I think that's cute. And we'll clip to that as well. So many clipping masks. But you guys know I love clipping masks. It makes it so easy to fill in color and stuff, especially when it comes to doing an illustration like this, where things are, you know, very isolated. It helps to keep things organized, but it also helps to you know, I'm not coloring out of the lines. Everything is exactly where it ought to be, and it feels like I'm keeping everything together. I feel like I'm in control of what I'm creating here, and I just love using clipping masks for this sort of thing. And then I'm also let's grab that blue, and I'm just going to make these little shadows under here. I want to make sure my nose is up top, so that shadow goes under the nose, and I'm going to turn the opacity down so that it's just like, you know, just tiny little shadows. And then we're going to throw his buttons in. He's going to need buttons for sure. So let's go ahead and with our dark blue do some little buttons. Very cute. And we will clip to these as well. grab our bright blue. So he's got little buttons down the front. And then we will also come in with our little shadow underneath. Boom. And then he needs arms. We almost didn't give him arms, folks. He's gonna need some arms. So let's come in underneath our mitten. I think this is our right mitten. Yeah, here we go. We'll come in underneath our mitten, and I'm gonna grab like, should it be purple? I don't know. Maybe the mitten should be lower. Let's grab our mitten, and let's grab our left mitten, and let's bump them down a little bit. I just realized it kind of ruins our shadow, so I'm going to hold control and click this so I can go directly to that layer, sample this color, and kind of fill that in. There we go. I like it. And then we'll come back to our proper mitten, the right mitten, this layer underneath here, and we are going to, I wonder how it would look. Maybe we need to turn the mitten. Maybe turning the mitten is what needs to happen. I'm actually going to go ahead and convert that to Smart Object. So it's just, oops, maybe we'll rasterize it. Rasterize, rasterize, rasterize. So it's just our little guy here. Maybe we'll do like that. And then underneath, we'll take a little arm. Yeah. There's his little arm. Just kind of have it disappearing back behind our scarf there. And we could add a little bit of definition to it if we wanted to. We could lock the transparency or clip, but we could grab like this light purple and just do a little bit of that. And that's pretty darn cute. How many minutes do we have left? We got about 3 minutes left. And I think this is super, super cute. And I mean, we've been working for a little under an hour. And I feel like this is a lot of good work for that amount of time. But as you can see, you know, if you're working along with me today and you're feeling maybe like, you know, you didn't do yours as fast as mine or whatever, you know, we did a really repetitive kind of workflow. A workflow that you can really kind of take a bite out of and have fun with. And so if you don't, you know, do yours as fast as I'm doing mine, that's okay. Truly, it really is all right if yours isn't as fast, because you can just take a tiny bit longer and still kind of achieve the same vibe that I've gone for. If you just need a little more time to do yours, there's no harm in that. So I'm just gonna drop in a little bit of texture here. I think the last thing that we need is maybe a little tiny shadow for our guy here, and that is it. So please check the description below, download the assets that I have kind of created for you folks today. If you would like to create a snowman, stick around, because right after me, Isabel is coming up with some end of the year postcards, I believe, which is going to be a hoot. And please, if you folks are creating a snowman with me or have already created a snowman, please post to social media with the hashtag Adobelive Holiday Week 2022, because I want to see what you folks have made. And if you post it to Instagram, I will add it to my stories. And if you post it to Twitter, I will shoot you a retweet to highlight what you worked on with us today. It has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you folks around the bend. Adios, everybody, and happy holidays.